Yeah, I didn't see a movie last week. There wasn't anything that really sparked my interest, and I was kind of due for a bit of a time off. Considering a few other things that happened, I needed time to deal with that. And also, like I said, there wasn't anything that really sparked my interest. I mean, I heard Upgrade was actually pretty good, but again, it just didn't light the fire in me at all. Anyway, I just got back from seeing Ocean's 8, and when you see one of these movies, whether it's the original Ocean's 11 with the Rat Pack, or the remake and the sequels with George Clooney and Brad Pitt, you don't really watch it for necessarily the plot or any sort of taut direction or anything of that nature. You watch it for basically people who look like they're friends, having fun with each other, cracking wise, and an overall fun on set. And for the most part, there is a bit of this. The plot does concern Debbie Ocean, Sandra Bullock's character. She's the sister of Danny Ocean, who has died recently. They show her visiting his grave a couple of times. It says, I can't tell if it said 2016 or 2018 on the grave, but yeah, it is meant to state that this happened recently. And no, there's no surprise George Clooney cameo at the end, so yeah, he is effectively dead. While visiting the grave, Elliot Gould's character from the previous franchise, Ruben, basically comes up to her and says, "Look, I know you're planning something because you just got out of jail, and even your brother thought it was too risky to try to plan something like that, like what you're doing." Her and Debbie's backstory was she was kind of a low-level grifter type with her friend Lou, that's Cate Blanchett's character, and she tried to go up to a upper scale running some art scams with a man named Claude Becker, and he wound up cheating her out in the end, and she went to jail instead of him. So she basically says, "No, I'm out now, I'm going to plot this one really big thing, so I need help." They call it, and it involves basically staging a heist at the Met Gala in New York, the Metropolitan Museum of Art's massive early summer gala. And so it involves using a Cartier necklace that is worth over $105 million. It has 6 pounds of diamonds on it, and they have to basically swipe this. Basically, it involves swiping this necklace, and the way they do that is they use an actress named Daphne Kluger, sorry, as their mark. It's the Anne Hathaway character. They bring in a semi-disgraced fashion designer played by Helena Bonham Carter, who needs money to pay off her taxes because she was once the hottest thing in fashion, and now she's not the hottest thing in fashion, and hasn't been for a long time. And they use her to basically dress the celebrity character, Daphne. Sorry, I keep calling her Diane. Daphne, and then they're going to get her into the gala, where they will then pull a switcheroo on the necklaces. They need a hacker expert, and this is where Rihanna's character of 9 Ball comes in. Mindy Sterling's character of Nina comes in at this point because they need someone to basically disassemble the necklace so they can spread the winnings amongst the entire lot. They also have Sarah Paulson's character Tammy, who is a fence who claims she's retired, but she really isn't. And she's selling a lot of stolen or possibly even bootleg merchandise on eBay. And let's see, who else am I missing? Oh, Constance. Just a sec. I know the character's name. The character's named Constance. Her actress is. Okay, I'm winging this pronunciation, so do bear with me. Aquafina. And she is basically she's good at sleight of hand. She runs a 3-card Monte game. She's also kind of Oh, I'm trying to think like who was the equivalent in the previous franchise, where it was just kind of the goofy, lighthearted, wise person who's not entirely oblivious to everything, but is not the master criminal type. More interested in being a skateboarder and blogging and stuff like that. Anyway, they assemble the team. They they acquire the right from Cartier to use the necklace for the gala. It's at this point, I mean, there are some complications that go with the plot. There's actually an interesting point where they discover that the necklace has to be, the clasp for the necklace, once it's on someone, can only be triggered via a special magnet, and they actually have to call in Nineball's sister to make, yeah, exactly, a specialized magnet to make that magnet so they can spring the clasp. And it turns out, too, this is also a plot to get back at Claude Becker, who is now this kind of, not quite bigwig in the art world, but yeah, he's fairly well respected. He's opened multiple galleries and everything. So, yeah, anyway, the night of the gala comes, everything goes down. There's a few other, the fake necklace, the way they make the fake necklace is the designer has glasses with a webcam built in that can scan the necklace, and it sends the image to a 3D printer where they 3D print a zirconium necklace. And like I said, so the night of the gala comes, there's some shenanigans that happen, they switch the necklaces, it gets found out, and James Corden's insurance investigator is called in, and it's someone that Debbie has dealt with in the past because he busted Danny a few times and he busted her father a few times. So yeah, like she's more than familiar with him. And it's at this point there's some swerves in the plotting. Just a sec here. It turns out that Daphne Kluger has basically been in the plot, not quite the whole time, but for most of it she sort of catches wise. Yeah, even though she's sort of portrayed as being sort of airheaded, she's really not. And it's like, I think I notice when someone's running a camera on their phone, and I notice when someone's really obsessed with a necklace and all these sorts of things. And so the way they set it up is they make it think that they have her act as though she's suffering some sort of food poisoning, so she runs into the restroom where there's not a security camera set up because New York state law prohibits that, throw up, and that's where the necklace switch takes place. It also turns out they swiped a few more jewels that they can sell, and it's actually now worth, I think that now each of the people gets, I think, somewhere around $38.5 million a piece because of all the jewels they've stolen and are now fencing. So, yeah. Like I said, overall, the plot is, it's by the book in terms of a caper heist movie. Again, you watch this for the interaction with the characters. Lou and Debbie are pretty good. Tammy, she's all right. Sarah Paulson's character, it's played like she's a bigger character than she is. Unfortunately, I think she's underutilized. Rihanna turned out to be a bit of a scene stealer in this, which is surprising given I think the last movie I remember her being in was Battleship, which is not the type of movie you really want to be associated with. Constance was kind of annoying. Nina, Mindy Sterling, too, I think was underutilized. Basically, her whole arc is her family's really judgmental, and, they're trying to constantly set her up with a husband. That's about it, yeah. At the end of the film, though, like I said, at the end, I was expecting a George Clooney cameo, but no, Debbie just goes to Danny's grave, drinks a martini, and says, "Boy, you loved what I just did," and that's how it ends. Like I said, James Corden was pretty good as the insurance investigator because you can see he's very dogged. And he said, he's the one who starts to catch. It's then that they start to. It tips you off as to the idea that Daphne was in on this, because it's not revealed till well after the heist that she was in on it. But yeah, the tip off is he investigates the sewer system because, in case like maybe it fell into the toilet and they smuggled it out that way and a diamond got left behind. Yes, that sounds plausible. But as he investigates the sewer, he didn't find any vomit in there. So, yeah, I was like, oh, I wonder, oh, yeah, that's what happened. I would say this, too, in terms of major criticisms. The film does drag towards the end. With the remake series, I guess we'll call it, the Steven Soderbergh trilogy, for the most part, I loved the first one. I did not like the second one. The third one was better, but it was not as good as the first. And I really don't even remember the last two, to be honest. But I thought, the Ocean's 11 remake with George Clooney, I think it ended at just kind of the right point, where we didn't just dwell on the characters for an additional 40 minutes, because that's what it felt like. It just kept going and going. It's like, get to the damn end credits already. Like, yeah, they've already gotten away with it. Like, we don't need any more after this. And that is kind of the one real drawback to this. I'd say overall, probably a C as the final grade, unfortunately. Like I said, the plot's pretty by the numbers. It's the cast chemistry that really does break through on this, but even that is not enough to really bolster the film up to a higher level than that for me. I just thought it was pretty average.
Tuesday and Tuesday only, it's the A-Team's incredible 2-hour blowout sale.
Oh, that's just wonderful.
That's right, folks. Get your hands on all the fantastic items you've been searching for.
Flesh, flesh, and more flesh.
Get there however you can. But don't miss the A-Team's hot 2-hour blowout event Tuesday. No phone orders accepted.
Okay, trailer time. We got some new trailers in this one, thankfully. I guess taking that week off did really help. First off, we have Whitney, the Whitney Houston documentary. It looked kind of interesting, but I'm thinking there's something else that comes out the same weekend as that. Wait, it comes out the same weekend as Ant-Man and the Wasp. So, yeah, probably won't be seeing that. The Seagull, again, I think I talked about that one, jeez, it was a couple weeks ago. It's, this kind of period piece, multi-character romance, kind of Howard's End-like thing, maybe with a bit more wit to it. After that, we have Crazy Rich Asians, which sounds horribly, that has a horribly offensive sounding title, because it sounds, like I said, it sounds like you're stereotyping. I'm trying to think, like, why did they, I mean, I know it's about people from Asia who are crazy rich, but like I said, it sounds wrong for especially a white guy to say crazy rich Asians. But overall, the trailer did look pretty decent. Boy, what did I write here? Oh, Searching. Searching, a sort of Facebook internet thriller involving a missing child and sort of possibly scamming her father, who's estranged out of money. John Cho is in it. Yeah, John Cho from Star Trek and American Pie, and Harold and Kumar go to White Castle in a straight dramatic lead is kind of weird to see, but he's trying to lead a social media campaign to locate his daughter. Actually looked kind of interesting. After that, we have Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again. Not too much more to elaborate on that. ABBA music. Cher. And running things off, we have The Spy Who Dumped Me. I know that trailer's been out for a while. Mila Kunis plays a woman who is, dumped, and it turns out her boyfriend who dumped her is actually an agent with the CIA, and shenanigans ensue. It looked kind of forgettable to me. obviously the next video is going to be the Moon Knight review. That might be up a little bit later on Sunday than usual. It's a long thing to have to review, and it's taken a lot longer than I thought it was initially going to take. So I've got the video. I shot the video the same day as this. I've recorded the audio. I just need to get the scans to merge everything together. Next movie is going to be Incredibles 2. After Incredibles 2, it will be the NXT TakeOver recap and review, and then the Money in the Bank recap and review. The next movie after that should be Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, but there could be a delay in that. I don't want to get too far into it right now, but there is something that could be happening on that day. It's not necessarily a good thing. It's not a surprising thing. If it happens, I'll explain what happened, but don't be surprised if some of my videos get pushed back because of it. See you all next time. Hey guys, is there a movie you want me to tackle? Even if it's some stinker like Baywatch or the Emoji Movie or something else? Check out my Patreon at Sleepy Time for Cat Productions. See how you can make that happen.